and again, just to repeat Isabel's welcome to you all. It's great to be able to engage with people in this slightly unusual virtual landscape that I'm sure we're all getting used to at the moment. So as Isabel said, my name is Michael Walsh. I'm the Dean of UCEN Manchester, and I'm just going to go through a little bit of an introduction really to UCEN Manchester, what we're all about, why we think we're a fantastic place to study, what you can expect if you do decide to come to us, and just a few things, a few pointers for the future really, and things that it'll be useful for you to know about before you start your journey with us. So we've got a series of online events taking place over the next 3 weeks, as I'm sure many of you are aware. Obviously, we're all still getting used to doing things slightly differently to how we normally do things. We would normally have our open days, and you could come and have a look around some of our fantastic city centre sites and get to meet the staff and students. But we're hoping that these virtual events will give you the chance to at least have a little bit of a flavour of what UCEN Manchester is about and what to expect. So in terms of what we've got coming up over the next few weeks, this week it's really a series of events giving you an overview of UCEN Manchester. This is, as I say, my welcome talk. We've then over the next few days got talks about starting uni, what to expect, how will you be taught. That's obviously particularly important to you at the moment, because I'm sure many of you are wondering, will I actually be in class? Will I be learning online? The short answer is you'll be doing both of those things, but I'll tell you more about that later in the talk. And then a talk about student life and the student union. Next week is really when we have most of our curriculum focused sessions. There is actually one today on visual arts, but throughout next week we've got talks from digital media, health and care, computing, etc. And then they carry on in that final week in July, and we'll also then have some demonstrations and various activities going on. So if you have got a good idea now as to what area you want to study, if you're interested in makeup artists and special effects, for example, then next Wednesday is obviously an important date for you when you can take part in these talks. But anybody is welcome to take part in any of the talks and find out as much as you possibly can about UCEN Manchester. And as I said, we really welcome the chance for you to do that. At the same time as that, we've also running what we call our summer school. So for those people who have already applied and are interested in coming here in September and want to just brush up on a few things, just get themselves ready for study in September, there's a whole series of events taking place, and you can access all of those via our website. So if you want to find out more about those, do have a look at the UCEN Manchester website and find out how you can take part in those different events. So I guess the obvious question to start with really is why study in Manchester? UCEN Manchester, we're very proud of our sorry, something's gone wrong technically. Hold on, just bear with me 1 second. I've lost my slides. I'm back. Yeah, we're very proud to be based in Manchester. We're very proud to have Manchester in our title. It's a fantastic city. Many of you will know the city already. A lot of our students do come from Manchester, but we also attract students from right around the UK. And obviously, you know, many of you will know Manchester. It's a very well-known city. It's a very vibrant city. But there might be some facts about it that you're not too sure about, or there might be some things about it that you'd like to know a wee bit more about. So it's a real one of the things that you will know about Manchester is it's a real city of culture. There's always something going on in Manchester. Fantastic creative arts, fantastic music, fantastic performances. There's the Northern Quarter, there's you know the quaysides. There's just some fantastic things going on, and you'll really be able to take part in those. And even in the current circumstances, you know, many of those venues are open now or are reopening very soon, and you'll really be able to immerse yourself in the culture of the city. It's also a real powerhouse of industry, and one of the things that we particularly pride ourselves on is our industry links. We've got fantastic links with some of the most creative industries around Manchester, whether that's film and TV, whether it's creative and digital, cybersecurity, or even some of the professions that at the moment are very much at the forefront of people's minds, our care professions, and you know, those sides of things, nursing. So it's a real powerhouse of industry, and we've got those fantastic links there that you'll be able to take part in. It was voted the most livable city in the UK for the last 8 years. That was by The Economist. So a fantastic place to live. relatively cheap compared to some big cities, and as I say, always plenty going on and plenty to do, and a real friendly atmosphere as well. Those of you who know Manchester well, I'm not from Manchester originally, I grew up in Blackpool, but live just outside Manchester now, and absolutely love the city, and it's a very friendly city, and a city where you'll feel at home straight away. It was voted the best city in Britain for business last year by Management Today. So if you want to study business or anything connected to that, if you want to look at management, if you want to look at entrepreneurship, then you'd go a long way to find a better place than Manchester. And in fact, as you can see, in the UK, it was voted as the best place. But also, really importantly, from a looking to the future perspective, it was voted the top digital tech city just this year by Data City, and again, a lot of our courses are geared towards technology, digital learning, not only in terms of the actual content of the courses, but in how you learn as well. That's been particularly important over the last 3 or 4 months. We very quickly moved all our learning to a digital platform, and all our learning moved online. We did that pretty seamlessly, and all our students have been able to continue learning and continue having their work assessed and getting great grades. And I think, again, that's part of that whole digital environment, really, that is already there in Manchester, but will be developing even more as time goes on. I mentioned the culture in Manchester, and I could have picked, you know, another 20 or 30 examples of what's on this slide. Manchester was the home of the Industrial Revolution, going back to the whole sort of, you know, the cotton industry and the mills. It was the birthplace of the NHS. There are more live music venues than any other city in the UK. I mentioned before, obviously, you know, things are slightly unusual at the moment, as they are in any city, but more and more of those venues are opening up. There's a lot of outdoor venues in Manchester, and a real outdoor culture in Manchester, whether that's just, you know, cafe eating, you know, sitting out on the streets, or whether it's actually outdoor venues. So again, that's something that there's always something going on, and there still are things going on in the city at the moment. It's a fantastic place to be a student. There's over 100,000 students in Manchester, and if you walk down some areas of Manchester, Oxford Road in the city centre, and around MMU, and actually round up where we are near the Manchester City Ground, there's a real buzz and a real vibrancy amongst those student quarters, and many students who have studied in Manchester do actually stay in the city after they've graduated and work in the city, and that's because of the experiences that they have while they're here. It's, as you will no doubt know, home to 2 of the most successful football clubs in the UK, Manchester United and Manchester City, and I'm saying that as a Liverpool fan, so it pains me to admit that Manchester is the home to some great football clubs, but other fantastic sporting opportunities as well. There's the Velodrome, cycling, there's the Sports City, there's miles and miles of cycle paths. There's actually a really vibrant rowing scene around the canal and around Salford Quay. So it's a fantastic place to engage in sport as well as all the wider cultural activities. We've got an airport, as you will know, just literally half an hour from the city. 27 million passengers a year pass through there. It's a really well connected city. You can be down in London in a couple of hours. We've got the metro, the trams that can take you right across the city and out to the different areas, so it's really well connected. And as I say, those are just some examples of why Manchester is such a fantastic place to study, and I have to say to work as well. And there's plenty more that I'm sure you will discover if you do come and join us here. So why study at UCEN Manchester? We've looked at Manchester itself, but why choose us? Well, we've got a very clear vision and mission, and we believe in making degree education accessible to all. You'll know Manchester does have 2 very successful universities in the form of the University of Manchester and Manchester Metropolitan University. We've got the University of Salford just next door to us. But one of the things that we feel very strongly about is that higher education should be open to everybody. Those are very well regarded universities, but you need, first of all, that they're more expensive than we are. They charge the full fees, but also you often need very high grades to go and study there. We have a very inclusive approach to study. We think that everybody should be able to come to us, so our tariffs, the grades that you need to come to us, are very inclusive, and in fact many students come and study with us who either haven't got formal qualifications, but they've got fantastic work experience, or they might have got qualifications some time ago and are now returning to education. But we really believe that education and degree level education should be accessible to all. We've got a very inclusive and diverse student population. We attract students from all backgrounds and all areas, and we do attract students from regions that traditionally many people don't go to university. There are a number of areas of the UK that have a traditionally very low percentage of people progressing to university, and we're really proud of the fact that actually we do really well in bringing students in there. And, you know, we really specialise in seeing people as the individual that they are. We're a relatively small provider. We've got about 1,500 students studying with us every year, but we're actually really pleased with that. We feel that allows us to focus on you as an individual. You're not just you know, another face in the crowd at UCEN Manchester. You're not sitting in a lecture theatre with 200 other students. We've got relatively small class sizes, a huge amount of personal attention and that individual focus. We've got a real hands-on curriculum. So you will be very much engaged in project work rather than, again, you know, sitting in a lecture theatre, listening to people talk about how they do things. You will actually go out and do them, and you'll get the chance to really, you know, engage with the industry. And we do a huge amount of project-based work. So it's a real great combination of very high academic standards, as you'll see in a moment, but also that face-to-face industry expertise, and many of our tutors still work in the industry and have got a great deal of experience of doing so. Just to build on that, some indicators, I guess, as to our performance. Earlier this year, we had a review carried out by the QAA, the Quality Assurance Agency. It's not something that's as well known in higher education, but it's kind of the higher education version of Ofsted. Everybody knows Ofsted, everybody knows what Ofsted inspections are like. And the QAA review is really the higher education version of Ofsted. And they came in and looked at our student engagement, looked at how we treated students, looked at the application of students, looked at how we work with students to improve things, and we got a fantastic outcome. We met all requirements to a high level of confidence, which is as good as it gets. It's like getting outstanding from Ofsted. So we're really proud about that and really pleased to get such fantastic recognition from that review. There's also, I'm sure many of you will be aware of, the TEF, the Teaching Excellence Framework, which is again a series of indicators as to how you are performing from a higher education perspective. And we've got silver status that works on a gold, silver, bronze system, but few providers got gold, and particularly few college-based providers such as ourselves have got gold. So we're really proud of our silver status, but we do aspire to achieve gold, and that is something that we're working towards in the future. Based on the most recent statistics that are available, 95% of our students went on to work or further study within 6 months of graduating, which again is something that we're really proud about and really highlights how we do prepare students for work. And there's a student satisfaction survey, the NSS, which again I'm sure some of you will be familiar with, which is published every year, and our most recent rating, which came out last year, gave us an 81% satisfaction rate, which is on a par with many of the sort of very well-known universities across the UK. We're due to get this year's results on Wednesday, so do look out for those, and I would strongly suggest if you are looking at other providers as well as us, just check out what their NSS satisfaction rate is, and if it isn't up there in the 80s, then it tells you something about how they treat their students. We're really proud to be in that position, and as I say, we're sort of waiting for Wednesday with great excitement, because we're hoping that we will have seen further improvement in student satisfaction this year. I think one of the things again that we're very proud about is that we're always developing as an institution. We never stand still, and one really important development which is taking place over the next couple of years is we're building a brand new city centre campus which is on target to open in 2022, and I would point out it's still on target to open in 2022. The current coronavirus situation hasn't delayed that at all. Building work has continued, and we're really confident that we're going to be opening our doors in a couple of years. That's a £130 million investment, both in the city centre campus, which is going to be just near Manchester Victoria Station. I don't know how well, obviously, many of you will know Manchester, but it's just behind the Manchester Arena and Manchester Victoria. It's a really fantastic location, very, very central. But we're also redeveloping our existing campuses. So it isn't only that city centre campus which is going to benefit from the investment. Some of our existing campuses will benefit from it as well. About 2/3 of our higher education offer will then be in that city centre campus. So most of our HE will be moving in there, and all of our creative arts, performing arts, business, computing will be moving in there, and some of our sport and health and social care, that will be staying at our Openshaw campus, but we're building fantastic new sports facilities there, and again, that's on target to be ready for 2022. So we're really excited about moving in there. Those spaces there are going to be really well designed to give you the best possible learning experience and the best possible environment to learn in. And these are just some images as to what to expect when you move into that new city centre campus. So the top left there, that's going to be our art gallery. So if you're interested in visual arts or creative arts, that's the kind of space you can expect to work in there. The middle there is our UCEN Manchester entrance. We're going to have a separate entrance for our UCEN Manchester students compared to our further education students. The image top right is going to be our higher education library. It's going to be really well kitted out with IT as well as with books. The bottom left is what we call our jewel box theatre. So if you're interested in performing arts, if you're going to come and study at the Arden School of Theatre or do one of our high national certificates, that's our jewel box theatre, which is going to have absolute pride of place within the campus. And although you can't see it too well, the image in the bottom right, which has got the writing on it, that's the inside of the theatre. So again, it's going to be absolute state-of-the-art facilities. And if you do join us in September 2020, if you stay here to do either a 2-year foundation degree or one of our 3-year degrees, you will, if your subject's moving in there, you will be studying at some point in that new city centre campus, or you'll be studying at our redeveloped Openshaw campus, and again, getting to benefit from the great facilities there. So either way, you will be benefiting from those new facilities during your time with us. So what can you expect in September? Obviously, a lot of people are asking themselves this about higher education at the moment and are just a little bit uncertain maybe about what the experience will be. Should I go to university in September? Should I maybe think about deferring my place? Will I be face-to-face? Will it be online learning? Like many providers, we're still working through exactly what the offer will be next year. But what we can say now is that all of our courses will take a blended approach. So all of our students will have at least some face-to-face sessions. We're very keen to get students back learning face-to-face, particularly for those more practical subjects. But we want to make sure we do that in a safe way. So those face-to-face sessions will be delivered in a safe, socially distanced environment. As well as that, we will have high quality online learning where it's appropriate. So if it's more of a lecture-based subject, you might have slightly more of those online remote experiences similar to this. It'll be a virtual experience, but even then there will be some face-to-face subjects you'll come in, some face-to-face sessions rather. You'll come in and meet the staff. You might have one-to-one tutorials face-to-face. You might do small seminar work face-to-face. It might be that your assessments are carried out face-to-face. Or as I say, some of that project work. So it will be a mix, and the actual mix will depend on what subject you're studying and what the content is. But you will be on campus. We really want our students to be on campus. But as I say, we're going to make sure we do that in a very safe and sensible way. So it might be that you'll be on campus for more concentrated periods of time, rather than maybe coming in for 3 hours today and 3 hours tomorrow. You'll come in for 6 hours on one day. And then, as I say, that will be supplemented by the online learning. We'll work really flexibly to meet your needs. And if you need to know more about that and what that means for your course, that I would definitely take part in those talks that we've got coming up over the next couple of weeks, those subject specific courses, because the tutors will be able to tell you exactly what they've got planned for you next year. And there's also this Wednesday, there's a session that Wendy Pennington our Director of Student Experience is running, and she'll be giving you more information then about what to expect and what will happen, for example, during our Freshers Week or our Induction Week, and how we're going to get you safely back on campus. But it will be, as I say, that blended model where you'll do a bit face-to-face and a little bit online. In terms of our offer, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about our different subjects because you've got those talks planned around this, but just very quickly to run through the different areas that we have. You'll be familiar with many of these. So we have our Arden School of Theatre, which at the moment is based at our Nichols campus near the Apollo Theatre in Manchester. That's going to be moving to that city centre site. Real fantastic experience there. Most of the tutors in there are still active in the profession, on TV, in the theatre, and we've got a great relationship with a lot of the small independent theatre companies around Manchester. Manchester Film School just keep winning more and more awards every year. It's amazing, really. I don't know quite how they do it. Got a fantastic 3,000 square foot film studio. And again, that's going to be moving into that new campus with a purpose-built studio for them. Do some fantastic work. Our creative arts and digital media, work on live industry briefs and collaborate with external studios. And our cybersecurity and computing courses are really top of the range as well. And in fact, 2 of our tutors are in the top 25% globally, not just nationally, but globally for the work they do with Cisco. And we also work with other really well-regarded businesses and providers there. We also offer Criminology. We're among the top 10 ranked course for the World Scholarship Forum for our criminology courses. Health and care, a lot of interest in that this year. I think obviously people have seen the fantastic work that the NHS have been doing and that's been going on in care homes, and really recognise the value of doing that work. So again, that's an area we've seen a lot of interest. Makeup and special effects. We've got fantastic facilities there at our Fielden campus. And sport, which again, as I mentioned, we're building new sport facilities there to extend what's on offer. We also offer teacher education courses, business and management, construction and the built environment. That's all delivered at Openshaw. And if you haven't quite got the grades that you need in order to go straight on to higher education, if you're an adult, we offer our access to higher education courses, so you can come and do that for a year. We've got a 98% progression rate then from an access course onto higher education. So if you do an access course with us, you're virtually guaranteed to be able to move on to higher education. Obviously, we'd love it if that was with us, but many of our students go on to other universities, and that's absolutely fine. We're very happy to support them in terms of doing that. And the final thing really for me, I just wanted to talk about our partners and how our qualifications work. We don't award our own degrees. We have partnerships with different validating partners. So we work with 3 really well-regarded universities: Manchester Metropolitan University, who, even though they're very local to us, and in some ways you could argue are a competitor, we've got a fantastic relationship with them, and they really see the value in working with us to offer those specialist courses that we do in our specialist facilities. Sheffield Hallam University, again, really well regarded, and they validate our Arden courses and our media makeup courses. The University of Huddersfield validates our teacher education courses, and then if you do a high national diploma or a high national certificate with us, they are awarded by Pearson. So if you do study with us, they are the people who give you your degree. So you will qualify, you will graduate with a Sheffield Hallam University degree or a Manchester Metropolitan University degree. One of the things that, again, we think really works for our students is our flexible approach. So you can achieve a degree in 3 years. As you would do at any university, you can achieve a degree in 3 years, but do it in a very flexible way. So you can either go straight onto a 3-year degree, or you can do a foundation degree or a high national diploma and then top that up in your 3rd year, or you can step off there. You can just do a 2-year course and then go into employment. Many of our students do that. It's entirely up to you. You've got a really flexible system there so that you can put together the qualifications that work for you in the way that suits you best. So that's everything that I wanted to say. Thank you very much for listening. I really hope that's been of interest to you, and I'm certainly happy to answer any questions now if there are any, or if not, please do feel free to send any questions in, and we'll pick those up.
Fab, thanks Michael. So we've got quite a few questions in already, which is brilliant. So thanks for those who've asked. First one we'll go with is, what if I haven't applied yet?
Okay, sorry, technology isn't my strong point, so I'm just trying to go back so that people can see me, which hopefully they now can. Yeah, if you haven't applied, that's absolutely fine. You can still apply for September 2020. Or you can apply for September 2021, and I'm sure there'll be people who are listening to this who are interested in both. It's really easy to apply. Easiest way is probably just to contact us through the website, but yeah, absolutely, we're still taking applications for this September. If you know what course you want to do, then it's pretty straightforward. You can still apply through UCAS, by the way, but also you can come to us, and we've got our clearing will be opening soon. So just get in touch with us and through the website, and we'll be happy to talk to you about that. Yeah, definitely not too late, and also not too early to be applying for September 2021.
Brilliant. Yeah, so just to reiterate that our clearing is now open, so if you do want to apply that way, just head to our website, and you can either search clearing, or it's just our website and then /clearing, and that will take you to the page. It'll show you all the vacancies that we've got, and you can apply from there. Our next one is, what's in place to help us settle in?
Well, again, yeah, really important question, particularly at the moment. We're still finalising that, and again, I mentioned the talk on Wednesday from Wendy Pennington, who's our Director of Student Experience. We've always in the past had a Freshers Week, as many universities do, so that's a real opportunity for people to come along, get to know other students, get to know their teachers in a more relaxed setting. We also have induction sessions for all of our courses. This year, we're still just working through what that might look like. We'd still really like to do some face-to-face things there and really help students to settle in person, but we recognise, you know, things are changing so rapidly, aren't they? And what we don't want to do is arrange purely face-to-face and then that not happen. So we are also arranging virtual sessions, whether that's through Teams or through Zoom. We use Zoom a lot for our virtual learning, and you know, our teachers are getting really good at sort of operating that, and I've got a much better grasp on technology than I have, that's for sure. So a whole combination of different things, but I would suggest if you dial into the talk on Wednesday, and Wendy will give you more details about that, but lots going on to help people settle in.
Brilliant, thanks Michael. Our next one is about our accommodation partner.
Okay, well, we really use accommodation in two different ways. So we've got a great partnership with Manchester Student Homes, and again, there'll be talks taking place throughout the week that can tell you more about that and put you in touch with those. We find that particularly first year students like to work with Manchester Student Homes. So we don't have our own accommodation, but we work really closely with them, and they've got accommodation in the heart of Manchester and actually close to most of our sites. Some of our students, particularly if they're second years or third years, prefer to find private accommodation. And again, that's great. We'll help them to do that. But there are a number of private landlords that we work with, again, right across the city. Manchester certainly isn't short on student accommodation. But yeah, Manchester Student Homes is our first port of call. There's a chap called Steve Brobin, who, again, he'll be doing talks this week. And Steve can help you to sort out that accommodation and put you in touch with the right people to arrange all of that.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks. I've just also popped a link in that chat if anybody does want to see our accommodation page. So that's great. Our next one, probably a bit of a similar answer, but can I be advised on funding my course? Yeah,
just on Manchester Student Homes, sorry, I should have said they do also take part in our induction and Freshers Week. So if you haven't had a chance to sort your accommodation out, they'll be on hand to do that. But yeah, in terms of wider advice and guidance, one of the things that I didn't mention in my talk, but again, it will be covered in other sessions, we have what we call Future You. Which is kind of I guess a banner really that we bring all of our different strands of support together under. So whether that's accommodation, whether it's finance, whether it's just settling in, whether it's if you need a bit of support while you are here, or careers advice on the next step, all of that's covered under that Future You umbrella. Again, there's loads of information on our website, lots of links there where you can get in touch with those, but there will be Future You talks going on over the next few weeks, so it's really good to pop along to those. I don't know if there's another link that Isabel can provide, or she may have already done so. Pop that in as well, but yeah, any advice around finance or funding, Future You is the best place to start.
Yeah, most definitely. And I would just say as well, Student Finance England, obviously they are still taking applications. If you are planning on going to university, look into making an application through them if you are eligible, because that can really help you fund your course. It also is one of those things that until you enroll, it's not going to kind of impact you. So if you are umming and ahhing, it would be best to kind of put in that application in the meantime. And then if you do choose that you don't want to start this year, it's not going to impact you in a negative way.
Definitely, yeah.
Just the next question then. So I'm currently studying at Manchester College. If I come to UCEN Manchester, are some of the tutors the same?
Yes, some are, some aren't, basically. It depends what subject you're doing. So many of our areas, they have their own specific higher education tutors. So the Arden might be an example of that, or I think Manchester Film School is another one, where those tutors only teach HE. But in other areas, I think performing arts is one, I think health and social care might be another. Students do teach across both. I think visual arts students teach across both as well. We tend to do what works best for the area, really. Even in the areas where it might not be the same tutors that have taught you, we've got really strong links there, though. So it might be that there's the same manager above there, and we're really keen to emphasize that, the links between them and to make it as smooth a transition as possible. So it depends what area you're in is the short answer. But again, if you take part in the presentations that are relevant to your particular subject, you may well recognise some of the tutors there, or if not, I'm sure they'll be only happy to introduce themselves and talk about the links there.
Brilliant. Our next one is, do you have a students' union?
We do have a students' union, yeah, and the student union actually has really gone from strength to strength over the last couple of years. Again, I think it's this Thursday. There's a talk from the student union. We're just having a change of officer. There was a guy called Sam Lowe, who was the president of the student union, who's been really active across Manchester. He's actually chaired committees that Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester, has been involved with around single-use plastics and around developing our policy there to not use single-use plastics. So not only has he influenced what goes on in UCEN Manchester, but also across the city. So we've got a very active students' union, really keen to take that even further. So if you're interested in getting involved in the students' union, or you want to find out more about it, again, tune into the talk on Thursday. But yeah, really keen to get people involved in that, and that does cover the Manchester College and UCEN Manchester as well.
Brilliant, and I've just popped a link to that event as well into the chat.
It's great, to pop these links in, isn't it?
Our next question is, will all of UCEN Manchester move to the city centre?
Not all of it. No, I think I mentioned probably about 2/3 of the provision will be moving into the city centre. So initially, I probably won't get this quite right, but so all of our performing arts are moving there. So the Arden and our performing arts that are currently at Sheena Simon, the Manchester Film School, computing, media makeup, visual arts. I think those are all the ones that are moving into the city centre. The remaining provision is all moving to our Openshaw campus, which is sort of East Manchester, quite near where Manchester City's Etihad Stadium is. So that will be health and social care, sport, teacher education, and construction are going to be based at Openshaw. Business studies is starting off at Openshaw, but will be moving to the new building. We're going to open a phase 2 of the new building in a few years' time, so business will go there. So it will be mixed. But what we are doing, which we're really pleased about, is for the first time we're going to create 2 very discrete UCEN Manchester areas. So I mentioned the city centre campus, that will be completely separate to the Manchester College courses that are taking place there. It'll have its own separate entrance. It'll all be controlled. It'll have a real HE environment with the student union bar and other facilities there. And then again on the Openshaw campus, for the first time, we're going to be able to bring the other HE together there. So it'll feel very different, and it'll feel very much more like a university experience.
Doing a 2-year foundation degree, do I get to go straight onto my top-up?
You do, yes, yeah. You need to pass your foundation degree, but the vast majority of our students do. And if you do, we make it really easy for you to go onto your top-up degree. So you do your 2 years, which is it's the same as the first 2 years of any degree really. The difference is if you want at that point to step off, if you've got the chance to go into employment, or you just fancy doing something a little bit different, you've got your foundation degree under your belt, you can do so. But if you want to carry on and do your top up, all of our foundation degrees, every single one has a top up that you can go on to. Some of them it's very straightforward. So if you're doing film and TV production, for example, you can go straight onto a specific film and TV top up. Others, if you're doing photography, there's at the moment we have a media top up that you can go onto, but it will have photography units on it, so you can go straight onto that and do it in a year. I think the important thing there is that you can achieve a full degree in 3 years, which is what many people are really keen to do, and what you would do at a university. So yeah, very, very straightforward to go straight onto the top ups.
Brilliant. And then we've just got another question around what are the fees generally on an annual basis?
Yeah, the fees vary depending on your courses. As I say, we do tend to charge slightly less than most universities. So some of our courses are £7,000. Others, the top that we charge is 8,900, and there's a couple that are in between there. There's two reasons really for why the fees might be slightly different. One is some of our courses, the actual cost of running them is more. So the equipment might cost more, or there might be a trip built into it, or it might be on our media makeup courses, for example, we buy the kits that we give to our students, which if they went and bought them themselves would cost about £700 or £800. So we charge an extra £500 and give you the kit as well. So it might cost more to actually run it. And with others, it's just the fact that it's it might be a 3-year degree, more competitive to get onto. Excuse me. So we just have to find a way of differentiating a little bit. But the costs are linked directly to the cost of actually providing the courses. Excuse me.
No worries. So our next one is, why do you think it's important to carry on studying at a HE level?
A whole number of reasons, really. I think obviously one of the things that the coronavirus crisis has done is really shown people how vulnerable a lot of jobs are, and unfortunately, a lot of people are faced with uncertainty about their future. And I think the better a suite of qualifications you've got behind you, the more it allows you to maybe change careers if you need to, the more security I think it gives you. So I think, for me, you probably won't be surprised to know somebody who's worked in education for over 20 years would think that there's a huge amount of value in education. But I think that the better you can, equip yourself and the higher you can go with skills and qualifications. But also, I think obviously at the moment, there's a real need for skills. I think if you look at as we emerge from the coronavirus, and clearly things are going to be different, having those high level skills is going to be really crucial. And I think the way that industry is changing, and particularly around the creative professions. So I think it's always important to keep learning and to improve yourself and improve your qualifications and improve your skills. And I think now more than ever, really, we're in a situation where we're going to need people who can do that and who can really take us to that next level.
Thanks, Michael. I think our next question is, will we still have access to libraries and study spaces on campus, even if we are distance learning?
Yeah, again, that's the plan. We're still working on that, but one of the things I should have mentioned is all of our HE campuses. We've currently got 5 UCEN Manchester campuses, and they've all got their own dedicated libraries and library spaces. So the plan is that they will be reopened in September. Again, students will be able to go in and use those facilities. Obviously, we need to manage that in the same way that we're managing everything else. So there might be limits on how many people can access the libraries at a particular time, or we might need to ask students to book in to access the libraries. But there will be the opportunities there to do that face-to-face and sort of in-person research. At the same time as that, we've already moved a huge amount of our sort of library stock online. There's online journals, online books, e-books. I'm sure people are very familiar with all of these things, online research. So we'd already done a huge amount of that. And again, one of the things that coronavirus I think has done is has got us all working in that way a little bit more. So you will be able to access a lot of our facilities virtually, but there will be that face-to-face opportunity as well.
Yeah, I think, and just to add to that, that's something that as part of induction, all of those kinds of things will be made clear to any new students who are coming on. So
Yeah.
You'll be really clearly signposted as to how and where you can access support, the different ways it is available. Obviously, virtual is working in a really strong way for us. It means you can have kind of one-to-one conversations, but just in a virtual setting, and that support definitely is still there, but we definitely will still have access on campus. It's just exactly how we do it.
That's a really good point, by the way, Isabel, and something I probably should have mentioned. Whatever we do next year, and however much the balance is between face-to-face and blended learning, what we're not going to do is just say to our new students, okay, you know, we're learning online, get on with it. Right at the start of the courses, one of the things that we've talked about doing is how important it is that people know how to work online. How do you get the best out of Zoom? How do you get the best out of Teams? How do you submit work online? How can you form those different little groups to work in? So actually, at the start of our courses next year, whatever you're studying, there will be sessions around virtual learning online, and how to get the most out of that. So you're absolutely right to highlight that, Isabel. It's absolutely crucial that students know how to engage with this, you know, slightly different way of learning.
Brilliant. Well, that looks like the last of the questions that we have been asked.
Excellent.
I've answered a couple of them privately as well, and just where they're a bit more specific. If you do have any other questions that you don't feel comfortable asking in this setting, you can always contact us on our inquiries email, which is just inquiries@ucenmanchester.ac.uk, or find out a lot more of the information online. But we'll probably just wait another couple of minutes in case there's any other questions that come through, but hopefully that's answered most of your questions. Have you got anything else to add, Michael?
No, if people do have other questions that they think of afterwards, or sort of think, oh, I wish I'd asked that, then by all means email us in, and you know, questions will be forwarded on to me. You can just use the email address on the website. So yeah, I'll be absolutely happy to answer any more questions. But other than that, really happy to have been able to have the opportunity to go through this with people. As I said at the start, it's quite unusual times for all of us at the moment, but I hope it's been of use to people. And as I said earlier, whether you're thinking of coming to us in September 2020, or whether actually this is your first thought about September 2021, we're absolutely here to help. Really keen to engage with people, answer any questions it might have. But do look out for those sessions over the next few weeks, and yeah, we'll look forward to you finding your future with us.
Brilliant. Well, it doesn't look like we've had any more in, so thanks everybody for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thanks, Michael, for your presentation. It's been brilliant. And like Michael said, if there's any other sessions that you want to book onto, please feel free, go ahead. We've got some great stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks, which will be quite specific to subject area stuff, but also to help really give you an insight into what it's like to be a student at UCEN Manchester. So we really do hope you can join us for some of them. But thanks very much for that. I'm sure we'll all speak to you soon.
Thanks, everybody. Bye now.